Hello and welcome to episode 9 of Gaming Together, a cooperative podcast. I'm your host, Nave, and I'm here with my co-op partner, Philip. Each podcast, we play through a cooperative experience and relay to you, the listener, if this game is the creme de la creme of co-op or something better off playing solo.
Yes, we do have a special co-op partner in the studio, the co-op partner studio, right here with us. I can almost reach out and touch him, but we actually have Victor joining us.
What's up?
So, Victor, we're friends from school, right?
From high school, yeah. It's been a while.
From school,
Yeah,
right?
School.
How long ago was high school?
Almost 10 years for me, unfortunately. It's been like 8
Yeah.
years.
That's a pretty long time.
Yep, we're getting old. It feels great.
Yeah. So now that you're a co-op partner, officially, you have to answer the co-op partner question.
That's the litmus test, by the way. You have to go through the real awkward 10 minutes at the beginning.
Yeah.
The initiation.
So, you like video games, right?
I do. I can't deny it. A little bit of a nerd.
And you probably played them with other people, correct?
A couple times, I think.
Okay, so
I honestly didn't know there was multiplayer before I met Philip. I was just playing.
Oh, God. So look back into your memories, and I want to tell you, I'm not going to tell you, you're going to tell me. So what would be the most defining co-op experience of your whole life?
That's a good question. I think there's been quite a few. I mean, I played Dead Space actually with Austin before. With Nave, sorry.
Interchangeable at this point.
Yeah.
And that was a really good experience. I guess I've played plenty of like multiplayer games, not necessarily co-op, just co-op, but in general, I mean, I think probably Dead Space was one of my favorites just because there's a good story behind it. And, you know, you've played games with Nave. He's kind of fun to play with sometimes. I'm just kidding. All the time.
Kind of.
Sometimes.
And sometimes.
Yeah, depends on the game.
Dead Space 3 is an awesome game to play in co-op because I think we mentioned this before at some point. You're both playing third-person shooters, but one person is going through like a psychological break, and the other person's just a total normal, sane guy. And so someone's seeing crazy shit all the time. And I think that was me in our game, wasn't it?
I think so.
And so I'd be like, "Did you see that?" And then you'd be like, "What are you talking about?" Slowly, I'm getting more and more crazy, and like I'm walking off in different directions. And you're like, "Where are you going? Come on, it's right here."
Yeah, and the game itself is like really. It already gives you that whole creepy feel, like something's gonna jump out at you. So I'm sure your gameplay was a lot different than mine because I was kind of just chilling, running around. It was fun though.
I occasionally go back and I watch those videos we recorded, and they're really bad.
They are,
but because they're completely unedited, they're just raw footage thrown up. I remember one particular time I don't know if you remember this, but we were singing head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
Yes.
We were crouching up and down, just being stupid. And as soon as we opened the door we're standing next to, a body falls down, and we both just start screaming because we're just fucking around.
I remember that was like one of the first times that like I think that you started recording, at least when I was playing with you. And then it was like you put like you used to make videos and stuff. You've made videos of like League and Dead Space, and then Sven co-op. That was funny.
Yeah,
too.
that's Sven co-op.
So.
Oh, dude. I watched all of your Sven co-op playthroughs, and I thought it was so funny. Like, I even thought maybe we should put this on the list.
That was a really good one.
Just from watching your playthrough, I'm like, maybe we need to play this.
That was like.
Go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say that was one of my favorite games to play to just like mess around with because we had absolutely no idea how that game worked. As like opposed to Dead Space, we've played the previous games, and then it was quite like that one. We just had no idea like what the mission, like the objective of the game was, like the action button. Like it was just a mess. It was so much fun though.
That was what I was gonna say. We fundamentally didn't understand Sven co-op to the point where we picked the game and we accidentally somehow made it the maximum hardest bone crunching difficulty where you just instantly die if you're hit once. And we just played like that forever before we realized when we quit at the end, probably like 3 hours later, that you could just make it way easier and just get through the game.
Yeah.
I think somebody might have brought it up to us in the chat, like in the chat of the game.
Oh yeah, that is funny too, because like it's a game that like not many people played to. Like the lobbies weren't as full, but our server was open, so like random people would join, and we would just type in chat and like try to become friends with them, and then eventually like after because we played that game for like hours consecutively, and then people would just like leave after
It
a
would be
long time.
sad every time.
Yeah, it
Very
was like a
sad.
sad story.
All right, Nave. So what have you been playing lately?
Not a whole lot besides, I mean, our next game I'm pretty sure is going to be Destiny 2, spoilers. So I've mostly just been playing that because it's very fun. I forgot about how fun that game was. And we've just been playing such, I don't want to say bad games, but Destiny 2 is just a caliber of game that is, it feels so fluid and nice. You just want to run around and just shoot things and listen to a podcast or something. I just took a big chunk out of Mass Effect 3 the last 2 days, though. I just finished the Citadel DLC for Mass Effect 3, and I'm so peeved about it because it's so bad. It's not good at all. It's like almost like new BioWare put a band-aid on Mass Effect 3. And when you're thinking about the timelines, it's like, yeah, this is actually a new BioWare timeline, but all of the characters are like really B tier Marvel characters. Like every single consecutive line that everyone is saying is some kind of witty one-liner, zinger, just like a knee slapper. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
something that's like the kids will think this is funny, right? It's like nonstop, and there's humor in Mass Effect, like tons of humor, like usually dry humor because it's like a space opera. But you get your whole squad and you're all fighting, like everyone's screaming all the time, arguing. Like the Prothean, who's the space Nazi, basically, he's like, I'm on Team Prothean and I have more kills than all of you combined. It's like no one's in character anymore. The more I looked into the DLC, the more I was like, okay, maybe I'm taking this too seriously because this is a very serious game. And so I think this DLC was made as like a fuck around moment. You know what I mean? I think it's supposed to be like a bow that goes, hey, look, you did the serious thing, you saved the universe. Now come back to our game and do this goofy, almost like a 007 bad mission. Like not 007, like Austin Powers almost like that. Except Austin Powers is funny.
So this is like the baseball or the beach episode where everyone just kind of hangs out and does random stuff, or
Yeah,
what?
it's like that, except the body snatchers came and they're trying to impersonate funny people.
Oh,
They came and they switched bodies with all of your party members and they're trying to be funny. But after you beat it, you get a whole bunch of like side stuff, and I started to do some of it, and it's actually meaningful and awesome. Like there's a lot of like things that get wrapped up. Like there's a character that dies. I don't want to mention him, but he's a really awesome assassin, and you take care of his kid afterwards. Not really take care, more like you go, hey, you're pretty cool, and the kid leaves. And you never see him again. But he comes
Hmm.
back, and you do like a funeral procession for him, and it's like actually really sad. I'm like, I don't like. What am I doing now? I'm sad. There is some pretty awesome stuff, and I've only just done 2 of them. I think every character has a little wrap up portion of a story arc that I may or may not have forgotten about at this point. And so I'm hoping to get more into that. I'm just glad that the DLC's over because it was so bad going through it. Really, that's what's been keeping me from beating Mass Effect 3 is I got stuck in that DLC, and in that DLC specifically, you can't leave. Once you're in it, you have to finish the DLC before you can get back on the Normandy and get the fuck off the
yeah.
Citadel. So I'm glad it's over so I can get back to the fucking fun kick-ass part of the game and rant over.
Nice, nice.
Well, Victor, besides League, what have you been playing recently, man?
Honestly, that's probably mostly what I've been playing is League. I mean, I haven't been have as much time as in the past to play. Up until here lately, I kind of my time kind of freed up a little bit. But I'm excited to start playing more again. So we'll see what comes up next.
Yeah, maybe we can do a retrospective on Dead Space or something a little
Yeah.
farther down the line.
Oh, Dead Space. I mean, we even have Borderlands too, which I forgot to mention. That's another game that we've definitely put in quite a
Oh,
few
I
hours.
forgot. We fucking like got all the achievements in Borderlands 2, didn't we?
Yeah, we went through all of it. I'm pretty sure.
That's a journey.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was.
me and Philip still have to beat Borderlands 3. We neither of us have beaten that one.
No, I
Yeah,
beat Borderlands 3 by myself, very lonely.
Oh,
I,
I forgot.
but
I've got you mistaken for the other Philip. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, hate that guy.
yeah, Borderlands 3 was pretty good too. And then I think the most recent cooperative game that I actually played was probably Borderlands the pre-sequel, which was like a year ago, which was okay. I mean, it wasn't as good as I would say as like second and third.
Yeah, it's like Borderlands 2 is Five Guys, burgers and fries, and Borderlands pre-sequel is McDonald's.
Yeah, honestly, it's kind of how it felt. It was like a forced, almost like a forced story. Like they just didn't have anything else to kind of go on about, and they just kind of mashed it in there. But I mean, it was still fine. It was still fun, and still had the Borderlands feel to it. But I don't know.
I think he's a DLC character, but I played it with the Handsome Jack clone guy or whatever,
Right.
imposter or whatever.
Hmm.
And so he constantly had unique dialogue. Everyone would be talking. They're like, "What the fuck's Handsome Jack doing here?" And you're like, don't worry, it's not Handsome Jack. Please don't kill me."
I didn't even know that was a
So,
character.
Yeah,
I might
they
have made that up. That might have been a fever dream.
No, I think they do have the character. They have a couple. I'm pretty sure you can play with like Claptrap, but I don't think Claptrap is like an additional, like a DLC character. I think it's just like a regular character. But I mean, it's a good game though. I'd still play it again. It's fun.
Well, Philip, what about you, man? What have you been playing?
Besides Destiny 2 and other stuff we've tried to play for the pod, the only thing I've played is Sonic Mania, which is the throwback, like kind of like almost fan version of Sonic. Like it was originally made by like a team that made Sonic fan games, who was then conscripted by Sega to make an actual Sonic game. And it's like old, I don't even know how many bits it is, like 16-bit graphics, 1632, somewhere around there. But what gets me is Sonic is like a weird thing for me where I only played Sonic 1 through 3 on like an old computer that my dad gave me. And then I didn't play Sonic again until I was 15 years old. And I played Sonic 2008 or 2009, whatever it was.
2006.
2006, that was it. I don't even know how old I was in 2006. But that game was bad. And I'm like, 3D Sonic is bad. I'm just not going to play any Sonic game again. And then I turned like 20 and I played Sonic Battle 2 Championship Edition or whatever it's called. The 3D one that's like really good.
Sonic Adventure Battle 2.
Yeah, that's it.
Like that.
Sonic Adventure Battle 2. That one was so good. I was like, oh my god, Sonic games can be good because I love the first three, which were all side scrollers, and then this 3D one was. I'm like, maybe Sonic's good, and then this Mania one, I finally got it whenever it was like free on Epic Store or something. They were just giving it away. I'm like, I'll give it a shot, and it's good. Like I've only played maybe like an hour or two of it, but it has all the magic of the first three without the clunky kind of like extra difficulty quarter crunching that the other ones kind of have, because I was never good at the Sonic games. But this one,
Yeah.
I don't know if they just babied it down for the new generation, me. And but I was able to clear like the first three worlds without getting hit once. And I'm like, this is actually fun.
Just going really fast all the time.
Dude, really it is.
I remember as a kid, I hate Sonic, by the way. I just almost all the games. The only ones I ever really liked are the Adventure Battle, and really it was more the Chow Garden, like
Yeah.
that you could take care of the little blue things. I remember as a kid, my dad brought me a Sega, and he was like, "Look at this. This is so cool, right?" And I played a little Sonic, and I was like, "I fucking hate this. I want to play Mario."
Yeah.
I had Super Mario World at the time, and so what my dad did, I don't know if I ever brought this up, but he would always take my game console and all the games and shit and sell it and just get me another console with that money. So I would just lose my console at some point, and I would be like, "Oh, it's gone now." And then I would have a Sega, and I'd be like, "Whatever." I had the Sega, and I'd play. I remember the 3 buttons, the huge buttons, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"I fucking hate this. This is not Super Mario World.
This isn't
Super
Nintendo.
Mario World is so good." Because I think me and him together had beaten Super Mario World like 3 or 4 times at that point, and he was probably just bored of Super Mario World and wanted something different. But that's it. Like ever since then, I fucking had a negative
What
impression.
about you, Victor? Are you a Sonic fan?
Oh, Sonic was great. I mean, I won't say I like played a lot of Sonic, but I think so. When I was growing up, I had a Super Nintendo, and I had one of the Sonic games, and I can't remember what it's called, but I mean, it's like a platform game slash,
Yeah.
go through stages and stuff, and I can't remember which one, but it was like super fun back then, and that's about as far as I have for Sonic. So like, I guess I'm like, don't have a huge opinion on it, but I do like it. I mean, from what I've played, so
You probably
Yeah.
like Mania then, because it's made by a bunch of fans. Really, it's just supposed to emulate the old Sonic, like how it used to be.
I mean, it's probably really good then. I mean, actually, I take that back. I did play one that like you beat bosses and stuff like that too at the end, which is I think it's like the most famous one. I just don't know any of the titles for the Sonic games for some reason.
Yeah, because all the titles are insane. Like there's like Sonic Ultimate, Sonic Colors, Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic was it well just Sonic Adventure Battle 2.
What's the one with the werewolf? Does that have a goofy name?
Oh god, what was that
Sonic
one?
turns into a werewolf.
Yeah, Werewolf Sonic.
As if that's what the
Yeah.
series needed as the fucking revitalizer.
I've actually never heard of that. That sounds
It's not good.
interesting.
Oh,
good.
I heard it's bad. I heard it's like the frame rate doesn't even go over like 8 whenever you transform because I don't know. It's just not optimized
It
apparently.
looks like you're playing on a slideshow.
Yeah.
My favorite.
What are we
All right,
talking
Nate.
about?
So that about covers the games we've been playing. So you guys got anything interesting going on you want to share? Well, I have something to share. So I'm currently in a hotel because I'm being retrained, right?
Yep.
I'm here for 4 months. As far as amenities go, they give me a tiny hotel-size coffee maker, and that's it. And I have a microwave too. Yeah, can't forget the microwave. He's been my buddy for a couple months now,
Do you
and
ever
I still
use
have
the coffee maker to make ramen?
no because I
Use the
got
microwave for that.
a water boiler, like a little water hot kettle thing, and I also have my own coffee maker.
Isn't that just a coffee maker?
No, because you don't put coffee in the water boiler. You crazy?
Yeah, but you can run the coffee machine without without coffee in it, and it just shoots It shoots really hot water out.
You're not understanding me. Moving on. So, yeah, now I also have an electric skillet for frying the meats because I eat meat. Sorry, vegetarians.
You
Actually, if
coward.
you're a vegetarian, turn the podcast off. I don't
What
want
about
you listening.
What about vegans?
They're cool, I guess. They go the extra mile.
It's like horseshoe theory. It's like
Yeah.
curving back around to they're cool
It
again.
comes back.
All
circles
or
back
nothing.
around.
That's what I'm saying.
So you
So,
eat eggs, slap it onto the ground.
no milk for you, no cheese. Oh crap, Shadow's vegetarian. Oh well. Anyways, so I just kind of left my hot plate out one day, and I go to class and I come back. And first off, oh, actually, another thing. I'm living in this room. I've been rearranging the furniture basically to fit my comfort because their crappy computer desk hurts. Like, not the desk, the chair hurts my butt. The desk doesn't do anything to my
I
butt.
was like, what are you doing? What are you doing with the desk, bro?
So I moved the desk closer to the bed so I can sit on the cushy bed and still, have my computer. Nice, right? Well, I come back and I find 2 different notes left behind for me. One in like my kitchen that says basically you're not allowed to have appliances, and if these items are found, they will be removed and locked up until you check out. And I'm like, these guys are gonna steal my coffee maker and my skillet and my hot pot. And I'm like, that's messed up. I'm so mad. Ugh. And I walk into the bedroom, and there's another note on the bed that says, guests will not rearrange furniture because then the cleaning crew can't come in and clean the room. And I'm like, I didn't want the cleaning crew to come in. Like, I clean up my own messes. I don't know what the cleaning, like, and then that's just it is. In my previous time, they're like, hey, we need to come in and clean your room. And I'm like, I put up the do not disturb sign. I don't want you cleaning my room. And they're like, well, it's policy that I have to come in and change your bedding once a week at least.
They need to make sure you don't have any dead bodies.
Yeah, I guess. And I'm like, I wash my own towels. Like, I have my own towels. Like, I do all my own laundry because they have a laundry room. I don't need you to come in and change my stuff once a week. I don't know who's washing their sheets once a week, but it's a bit extreme, I think.
You guys don't do that?
Really dirty bed.
You guys have sheets?
Yeah, oh
You
my
guys
god.
have sheets? You guys have a bed? Interesting.
You know what this sounds like to me? It sounds because you're in the military, right? It
Yeah.
sounds like it's like the equivalent of how the Spartans would just kick their little warriors out into the cold forest and just be like, survive.
But it's in a hotel?
Yeah, you can't do that in the modern days. So they put you in the hotel and they say no
They're
skillet.
like, no
You-
amenities.
No coffee maker, no skillet, survive. And I'm
You
like, I
live-
guess I'm only eating microwave food from now
Fucking
on.
Halo Reach, survive.
Oh my god. All right, but that was my little angry rant. Victor, you got anything to add? You have a good week?
Yes. So, I mean, like I was saying, this week kind of freed up because I have a break because I'm kind of transitioning right now in school. We're switching from like a book study part to like more of like clinic, like seeing patients and stuff. So I'm gonna start doing it next week. So I'm kind of excited about that.
You're ruining the negative vibe of this show.
Yeah, both of us have been
Sir.
complaining so far. Hey, no HIPAA.
Oh wait.
But
No,
what is the most messed up patient you've had so far?
So funny thing is that that's the thing. So like we haven't seen almost any patients at all. So because they like make us like study for 2 years and we learn all these like super like rare diseases that we'll never see in our lives.
Of course.
And then like we go in and it's just like most patients are probably just gonna have, hypertension, diabetes, things that are more common. and we're not gonna see like any of these things that we studied for like the last 2 years almost. But
They want you to be like in house. Is that what it's called, or bones? Where you're like, this is the bubonic plague.
It's been extinct for 99 years to this
Back.
day.
Which, by the way, it's not extinct, dude.
Okay.
It's disgusting, bro. Some college kids got it from gophers, bro.
Those poor
listen-
gophers.
Listen to the last podcast on the left, man. They've been talking about it. I can't listen to it. I listened it the newest one. I think it's called The Horny Pope or something. I don't know what it's about because I can't get through the first 5 minutes of it because I'm like, this is so disgusting. I can't listen to it anymore. There's
Yeah.
something about bladder, like when there's like, and then the bladder, the blood starts congealing, and then you piss blood, and it's awful. It's brown. I'm like, I can't listen to this anymore. It freaks me out. You can talk about anything else probably, and I'm like, but for some reason, peeing makes me scared.
Speaking of terrible diseases, so Victor, do you have a favorite disease yet? Is it like Pokemon where everyone has one they specialize in?
No, I think a lot of them are cool. That's one of my
I'm
favorite
actually
things
the
about-
bunion specialist.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's my
Be like,
own
I have a
special-
colleague that I met in school, and he's really into HIV. You know, they're like, he knows all about it.
Well, it is actually interesting that there's actually HIV clinics here, and I'm actually
Yeah.
gonna have to go to one of them and help out and rotate and stuff like that. But I was gonna add to the whole bubonic plague thing. That is true that is still around for sure, and it's like usually like by rodents, which is what you mentioned. But luckily, like now it's like we know how to treat it. It's like super simple antibiotics, so it's like not a big
Yeah.
deal anymore.
Like all those
But-
people died, but it's because they just didn't go to the hospital until like 2 days before they died.
You got to eat that moldy bread.
Yeah, well nowadays it's like that, but back then it's because like penicillin and stuff like that wasn't invented until they did find out what it was, and then
Yeah,
First-
apparently, like when they were pissing blood, the doctors were like, "Oh, that's just because you got too much blood."
Yeah, we got to let the blood out.
I'm like, "Oh God, stop
That
talking
is-
about it, please." Now I'm
That is-
freaking out in real life, in real time.
they used to think like that, like back in medicine, like old medicines, like that, like your body had different liquids, right? And then it was like you said, if there's red liquid, it's like it was almost like your zodiac signs, you know, like they're like
Yeah.
if you have more red liquids, like you're very leadership and like you're very vibrant or something. It's like I
You
don't
got to
know
get
if
your
that's
humors checked.
what-
along
That's
with
exactly
your-
right. Humors, yeah, that's like
Your
they called it.
cranium bumps. You got to have
Yeah.
them
I'm like-
red.
I know
And
no
if-
one can see because this is an audio podcast, but I'm like cringing into my fucking torso right now. I can't
And then-
handle it.
One of the most interesting stories that I've read from like the past is like like when they found that somebody had like some kind of like mental condition or they thought they like possessed or something. One of their top treatments was to like
I'm gonna go to beer. I'm fucking done with this.
put
Keep
a
going, I'm
hole
listening.
put a hole in their skull to like release
Sick.
like the demons and stuff like that. And I was like, well, technically that will cure the person, but
Hey, he doesn't have cancer anymore.
100%,
Talking about.
100% cure rate.
What's the treatment called where they stick the needle through the eye, like the little crevice next to the eye,
Lobotomy?
and you separate the brain halves or whatever?
So
Lobotomy.
it's like,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, it is.
No.
It's like hemi something ectomy or something like that when they like separate it. I just don't. I mean, that's like a more of a neurology thing. So,
Nice.
but
All right, so
There's
now that
something
we
I
were talking
remember
about toxic body humors, I think that's about time for us to move into our game. But first, we're going to take a quick break. And we're back. So, this week, we bring in our specialist co-op partner, Victor, to talk to us about League of Legends from Riot Games.
Now, there's a disclaimer right at the beginning. Now, I know in episode 1 we completely wrote this game off, but as I'm sure you're aware if you've been listening, we make up the rules, and this
Yeah.
rule's gone now for this episode. We're playing a competitive game that is very cooperative inherently. So we're not exactly breaking the rules, but we did specifically write this game off, probably for my mental health. But here we are. We're playing it again. So, Victor, when did you start playing League of Legends?
So when I started playing League of Legends was probably many years ago. When I first tried to play it was actually whenever you introduced me to it, and I just did not have the patience. Like at first, like I remember giving up after a couple weeks. I was like, I just don't understand it. I can't get it. Which, to be fair, like I don't know. I've always played like first person, third person shooters and things like that. So like playing League like with actual strategy was like I don't know, it was like a different pace for me, and I wasn't like interested in it at first, especially because you just get absolutely destroyed when you
Yeah.
first play the game. Like every game, you just get wrecked.
The skill curve for this game is steep, steep at the beginning.
Definitely.
So, Victor, what I wanted to ask you is, first, what character do you remember being released? Like, what was the newest character whenever you started playing?
That's actually a really cool question for League because it kind of sets like where you started playing. I think when I very first started playing was whenever Talia was released. The little
Nice. Old rock thrower.
yeah, the rock surfer.
Is that who was on the splash screen at the beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever you would log in?
Yep. Many years ago.
Do you remember that, Tuv? Was it still doing
Yeah,
that?
I remember my character. Like the first one,
What was yours? What was y'all's?
it was downright Darius. And I remember like he was released and he was so overpowered in the beginning
It still is.
because I was like, yeah, I'm like, this guy is bonkers. I cannot play this game because we had started playing. I saw this new character. My friend Shadow, he like shout out Shadow, I guess. He was like, hey, you have to play this game. There's this new character. He's super crazy broken. He can just instant kill anybody with his special ultimate where he cuts them right down the middle. And I'm like, that sounds cool. I'm gonna play Time Wizard ADC. And Time Wizard ADC is bad.
Yeah.
Especially when you don't know how to play.
The way I started playing was you and Shadow and Caleb and someone, another person. Who was it? Was it Hippid Donkey?
It was probably Dunks.
You guys all roped me in because I happened to be the sorry schmuck who was a fifth guy that was randomly there. And you guys, none
jungle?
of you guys wanted to play jungle. So, which Victor, I'm sure I've told you the story already, but that's how I learned how to play League. Was they just sat my sorry ass as fiddlesticks in the jungle, and they said, "Don't leave until you know how to play the game." And I said, "Okay, I'll just be in the jungle." I would play fiddlestick. Well, I remember the first character I wanted to play, which is a good question for you guys too. I wanted to play Trendamere because the way that William described him to me made him seem like God's gift to League of Legends. And that is not a character you play when you first start playing this fucking game. That character has a very high skill cap because it's a character where he doesn't die. That's what his ultimate ability is. All of the characters in League of Legends have 4 activated abilities and they have a passive ability, but they all have one ultimate out of the 4. And Trendamere doesn't die.
That sounds awesome.
So I'm like, what? I don't want to not die, or I do want to not die. Double negative. It's tricky. So yeah, it was terrible character for me to play. I played Fiddlesticks because they were like, maybe you need to be away from them so that you're not melee combat range. But eventually I switched over to Singed. And Singed was my boy for a while before I discovered Mundo. What about you, Victor? Do you remember the very first character you tried to play?
The very first character I tried to play, I think it was like somebody like either Annie or Nasus, because I actually did have some good guidance. So like they're like, hey, these are like low skill cap, but to this day I still suck as Nasus, so it's whatever. But
Oh, nasty.
Because it was me that was helping you when you first started, right?
yeah,
So I think because that is a low skill cap character, but you have to have a specific mindset for
oh for
like a
sure.
character like Nasus.
And I
So it's
still don't
really
have
like
that.
you scatter shot a bunch of champions at the new player until they go, I kind of like this one, and then you're like, there you go.
Yeah, you got to figure out what hits.
And but as far as like the one that actually stuck, that actually has a really high skill cap, at least in my opinion, and it's like my main for sure. As of right, even to this day, is probably Gnar. I don't know. I like playing with him a lot. It's really fun. So
Well, Nargata.
I just love like switching like midway, and like people usually don't expect it as much, or at least they don't expect how much damage.
Gnar is kind of like a character. He's like a tiny little chipmunk guy. They're called Yordles, but he's like what is it, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, where he becomes a huge scary man.
Yeah, he hulks out.
Well, or the Hulk is better because I don't think Mr. Hyde's a bigger Dr. Jekyll. I think he's just a scarier Dr. Jekyll. But yeah, so he's more like the Hulk. He hulks out and then and his abilities change. Me and Philip were playing ARAM preparing for this, and there was a Gnar on the enemy team, and I was just talking about, I was like, this makes me wish Victor was in here because every time he sees another Gnar player, he's always talking shit. And just as that happened, that Gnar absolutely touched us with his ultimate. Like got us all against the wall and killed us. And
5-man wall.
all I could do is just go, That was a good alt Nar. And all chat. That was good. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's definitely me. If somebody else plays Gnar, I just immediately have to talk trash just to like make sure I got assert the Gnar dominance, you know?
Yeah.
That's the opposite for me.
It's like, oh, you missed another boomerang.
Yeah. How dare you touch my boomerang?
Which a lot of people in ARAM have caught on to the little trick of throwing your boomerang the opposite direction down the ARAM lane and then having it come back really far, like purposefully missing it.
Yeah.
But that's opposite for me because in League, I'm one of those smooth brain people whose username is named after a champion in the game. So my favorite character in the game is Zac, who's like Gnar. He's a very dumb, stupid champion, like a comic relief kind of character. And so my name is Zactical Nuke, and when people usually do pick up on this in game. So when Zac is popular, people are picking Zac. People will be like, "Oh, look, this guy knows how to play Zac," and I'll immediately demolish. I'll be like, "Zac's a terrible champion. Why are you even playing
Yeah.
that? Like, this is so dumb. Like, why would you?"
Zac is bad.
Zac's
Weren't
bad.
we doing that yesterday?
Yeah, when someone got him in ARAM and wouldn't give him to me.
Yeah.
It's like it's like Darius Platinum Smurf, and you don't give him Darius in ARAM.
Yeah.
You're just asking for it. Who hasn't answered? Philip, you haven't answered, right?
Yes.
Do you remember the very first champion you tried to play?
Well, like you said with the scatter shot, I remember starting out and I instantly had characters that called out to me, being Time Wizard and Tarek. Those are the two ones speaking to me.
Fucking Pink Tarek. Dude.
Yeah. And so I'm like, all
Bye.
right, I want to do this, but I also want to get kills. So I was going ADC Tarek, ADC Time Wizard, and I'm like, it's not working. It's not working. And I'm like, obviously, I need to just play the best ADC. So I picked up Caitlyn, who had the longest shooting range. She had an ult that couldn't miss, and this was before they had any wall abilities. This was before Braum. This was before Yasuo. There were no
Jarvan.
blocks. Yeah, like the only thing that could block was like,
Wait, Anivia.
yeah, but you can shoot through her wall.
It's true.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
her wall doesn't block projectiles.
That's fact.
Oh, wait. I thought you were talking about for escape wise.
No.
Nah. And so I was like, obviously Caitlyn is overpowered. She was like the first champ I bought for 6,300, and I'm like, this is it. This doesn't get any better.
Yeah, Caitlyn is fun. I like playing. By Time Wizard, I'm guessing you mean Zillion, right?
Yes, Zillion, not Young
Okay.
Time Wizard, which came out, 4 years later.
That's kind of different for me because did you pick your characters based? Because I was definitely pushing mechanically characters onto you, but did you pick Gnar because you saw him and you were like, this character speaks to me before you even played him?
It was that.
Or did you like?
I was gonna say it's definitely the aesthetics for sure. I was just like, that's so cool, this
Yeah.
little guy, and then all of a sudden he's just this big guy, and like I don't know. And I think I've watched like obviously just like every other fool that plays League, I've watched some like professional gameplay, and it was like this guy just like did this amazing outplays, and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna
Yeah, that's
play
me.
Gnar and get so good. It's like this is gonna be me, which obviously never works out that way, but it still is fun. And I'm kind of hooked in it. I was gonna say something earlier about the Tarek that you mentioned playing Tarek, and is actually playing with me and Nave. I don't think Phillips has met him yet, but we were playing with one of my friends, Mad Hatter, and he like suggested that I was like, because I like to play top, obviously, as we play. Say that Nara is my main, but he suggested for me to play Tarek, and I was like, whatever, it's not gonna work. And it's actually surprisingly busted. It's like really strong. So if you ever want to play Tarek again top or like try it out,
I miss old Tarek though. Back when he couldn't miss his stun, it was just point and click.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's a little different for sure.
You missed the game last night where we were playing with your wife. Clip that. We were playing League with your wife.
Yeah,
And,
Jana loves League.
yeah, but so
Shout
she
out
had,
to Jana.
I think she was like playing one more game before bed, and so the game we ended up playing, I was a little upset with, but I was playing Zac and he was playing Tarek, and he was like, no, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. I'm just gonna put my thing on you, and and you just jump in, and we'll all be crazy strong and stuff. Well, it didn't work. We lost, but it was a very fun game. Like there was some real dumb things happening, like because I am a Zac main, and even after like being gone for half of a year, I have very intense muscle memory. We'll get into it when we start talking about mechanics and everything, because I want to talk about the flow state again, like bringing back to our third episode. I want to bring the flow state back up because I do feel that when I'm playing this. That's it. I lost my train of thought. I want to bring it back to what you guys were talking about. How, because you guys were saying that when you picked your mains for the first time, it was specifically because those characters spoke to you. I was the complete opposite for a very long time, where my main I ended up settling on. I know I said I played Singed a lot and I loved him, but my main, as Philip will remember, was a Mumu. I
Yep.
played a Mumu for maybe 2 years straight. That's all I did was play a Mumu jungle. I never did anything else. And if a Mumu got picked or banned, I would play Dr. Mundo and feed. It'd just be sad. But a Moo it wasn't a Mumu's aesthetic because he's a child mummy, and his abilities are literally he's crying and his tears are so sad that they hurt you when you step on them. These like crying puddles underneath him, and when you step on his tears, they hurt you real bad. And he like throws a tantrum and scratches everyone around him and stuff. And he throws a bandage and he wraps you up, like making you a mummy for a second. And I did not give a shit about this character aesthetically. I didn't care
Oh,
about the lore. I didn't care about anything.
poor Moo.
But I loved his playstyle. I was like, I can jump in the middle of the fight. I can tell one person, "You're not playing League anymore. Turn your computer off." Like you're stuck here in my arena. And that was the most fun shit that I could possibly do because I was obviously like the least skilled of the entire play group, debatably. So, because for the longest time I was playing with you five guys, and maybe one or two people would interchange, but I would just always be stuck in the jungles and nobody wanted to do it. And so, which I was totally fine with after about a year, which sounds bad.
After you got bullied into it.
After 365 days of this, I actually started liking it. So,
Oh no.
that's when Zach came along. When I saw Zach, I remember when Zach was revealed. I was like, okay, I've seen many a champ come and go. I'm not gonna get super excited for this, but this guy looks like he's there for his people. All right, he can jump. This guy. Okay, so Zach, think about. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember the movie Flubber,
Yes.
but he's literally Flubber. He's like just a big goo man. He's giant green. He's one of the few champions who like aesthetically changes as the game goes on. Not really as time goes on, but as your health depletes, Zach literally becomes smaller. Like his hitbox becomes smaller, he shrinks because his blobs are falling off of him. Like you're literally chunking him away. Like pieces of him are flying everywhere. It's so enjoyable because when you have like 5-10% health, you are a tiny little tiny man, and his voice pitches up as well. So he's like, what does he say? Oh no, I can't remember a single Zach quote all of a sudden.
I know one. He goes,
What?
"Mama always told me I was big for my age," or something like that.
Yeah, and then he would be like, "Mama always told me I was big for my age." Every time. But it's it's such an awesome character, and as soon as I got my hands on him and I started playing him, he has an ability where he literally he makes his arms like elastic bands. He slams them into the ground and he slingshots himself from the fucking moon. Like you go so far.
Yeah, the distance is almost broken far.
It's to the point where even to this day, this character's like 4 or 5 years old maybe. And like to this day, people still do not expect the angles at which this guy can jump into the fight from. And he's a tank. He does exactly all the stuff that a Mumu does, only he does it from a further distance away. And he's funny. So like
Yeah, Mumu's not funny.
it's my character. This is my guy. I found it. Yeah, Mumu is funny, ironically. Zach is wholeheartedly charming and funny. Like he turns into a bubble and bounces around as his ultimate. I didn't find my soul partner character until a long time into my league career, you could say. But
Yeah, if I were to step in here, you talk about finding your soul partner in Zach going from Mumu. I feel like that really kind of dives into me also symbolically, not symbolically,
your metaphorical,
yeah,
whatever.
as
I
a
don't know what I'm talking
almost
about.
like mirror image, but different. Like, so I'm just going for it. Like, my character, my big boy that when I pick this character I want to win is Misfortune, because I believe she is bonkers broken. And I can just walk in there, I can shoot up everyone, I run super fast, I have an ult that just clears a room. And anytime I'm playing with you, or like especially when I'm playing with Janna, because Janna will usually be my support, she'll be one of the tanks like you're describing. She'll be the Nautilus, and she'll go in there and she'll just ult the whole room and just knock everyone up, and I'll ult and I'll get all the kills. Or when me and you were playing together, climbing ranked, like you would always play a Mumu. Or when you got Zach, you start playing Zach.
Yeah.
And it would just be like, all right, Nave, my ult is up. And then you'd be like, all right, hold on. And then
Here
I
I
just
come.
hear, and like a bandage wrap would
And he
come out
goes-
of the trees.
He goes, woohoo!
Yeah. It just like grabs on, and then instantly my character just goes, ah, ha, 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 just like this really annoying laugh, and just covers the area with a spray of bullets. Just killing
I remember
everything.
we would play ranked, and we would always bully your support, and like play Leona,
Yeah.
play Thresh, like play someone who can lock them down. And I swear we will win this game.
I feel like maybe that part is the part of Austin that rubbed off on me when he was trying to like teach me how to play. Because like to this day, 9 times out of 10, except with very few exceptions, I only play like tanks that have like hard CC. Because like I
Yep.
remember learning how to play, and he was always like, "No, pick this guy. This guy has like CC, blah blah blah." He's like, "Oh yeah, that one's fine because it has okay CC, but you have to hit it or whatever." And it's like now I like to play like characters. Even on the jungle, my go-to is a Mumu and is Zac too. It's like all those parts of like Austin like definitely rubbed off, and you can tell whenever you see me play like tanks all the time, constantly.
CC, by the way, is a crowd control. It just means like stopping the opponent from doing what they want to do, like usually by stunning them or freezing them or something.
Yeah, so they just can't do any movements for like 2 seconds straight. Really
The main
annoying.
thing I remember this exact less because this is always what I told everybody. I was like, if you are playing a character with no crowd control and you're falling behind, like if you're playing Ringar and you get killed 2 times early, you are probably useless for the rest of the game. There needs to be a miracle. You really have to turn it around in order to become useful to your team again. But you can die 50 times as a Mumu and still stun this shit out of everyone in every team fight, so that the Philip or the Misfortune, you know, the very strong champion Philip, Misfortune, Gnar, or Darius, or whoever anyone is playing can walk up and just bonk them right on the head and kill them instantly, you know, because they can't move or attack or fight back. Like that's the way to go in my eyes. And I was gonna say I think you're probably the only one, but I think almost everyone that I taught how to play this game took that lesson away, because even if they play squishy champions, they play the squishy champions that have CC, like Sona and stuff. Like Madeline plays, she's a Sona main. And well, she plays Sona and Leona, but as far as squishy characters, she loves Sona so much, especially because of that ult. That ult just changes games. You get an enormous dopamine rush whenever you land a stun that hits 2 or 3 people. Let me tell you, I've never screamed louder in my life when I'm playing Zac and I jump in and hit all 5 people with a knockup. Like, I will scream like it sounds like I'm fucking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs up here, man. I'm surprised the cops haven't been called like for a welfare check, man. I will scream like I'm being stabbed because I am so hype about landing my stun. I don't even care if we lose the team fight. I'm so pleased with myself.
Have you guys ever heard the famous sound of the tactical nuke? The sirens going off.
Oh god.
Yeah, so my name is a play on the phrase tactical nuke, and the sirens he's referred to are from Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4, where if you got like a 25 kill streak, you would get a kill streak that just ended the game called the tactical nuke. That it went and then everyone just puts their controllers down and goes and gets a soda because the game is over.
Very
There's nothing
sad.
you can do.
Yeah.
It just kills everybody, and then whoever got it wins.
Which we're starting to get pretty crunchy here. I think we should touch back and maybe talk a little bit about the development of this game or just Riot in general. Because Riot is a very socially involved company as far as League of Legends goes. Because this game is literally all about the community. And I mean that in a negative way and positive way, I guess. So let's take a quick break. So, League of Legends was released back in 2009 by Riot Games? Yes. After hiring old Steve
Ginsu.
who was one of the Gwinso?
Ginsu Rageblade, isn't that?
Yeah, the Rageblade. Yeah. And he was one of the early developers on Dota. But Dota, do you guys know what Dota is?
The smart boy version of League.
Oh yeah, what does Dota stand for?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
Guess. You gotta guess now. This is you gotta guess now. Just say words.
Doritos.
digital online team. I can't think of anything with A.
Attack.
Attack. There you go.
Yes,
Attack.
Digital Online Team Attack,
There
actually.
you go. That's
Digital Online Team Attack All-Stars, which was actually a spin-off from, do you know where it came from?
Wait, is it really digital online? Are you...
No, it's not.
Okay,
No.
it was like
It's not. But Defense of the Ancients.
That was good.
Defense of the Ancients.
Oh, okay, that makes so much more sense. Okay, but Dota is a spin-off of what game?
Well, it's a mod of Warcraft.
Yeah, it all comes back to Warcraft.
It's always a mod.
This is episode 4 where we come back from a Warcraft mod.
Spin off of League of Legends because like definitely came out first.
Oh my
League
god.
of Legends has been out since 2001.
So it is 100% majority owned by the Tencent Corporation. Originally it wasn't, but they ended up getting bought out over the years. Do you guys know anything about Tencent?
That communist change.
They own so much crap. They are the distributors for Fortnite in all of China. So they are big name video game distribution business.
That is the Chinese filter of which
Yeah.
our games get through to them.
I bet that's their like mission statement. We are the Chinese Sony.
100%. They own so much stuff.
It's literally not even the rest of it. It's just Sony. It just says Sony.
Sony.
They are Sony now.
Which they do Discord too. I don't know how much they own. Like in my research, I just saw they are part owners of Discord.
Yeah, like they're part owners of Epic Games and stuff. And it's like they got their fingers in a lot of cookie jars.
Oh, they're in Ubisoft as well, and was it Blizzard Activision? Like they're not majority, but they're in there.
Bungie as well.
Dang.
That's what I'm saying. Is like this is the big company behind all the publishers that we don't see.
Their portfolio looks really good.
Yeah.
Which League of Legends is a very popular game. It is currently the number 2 most played multiplayer game with 8 million concurrent active players, right behind Fortnite. I think that's pretty insane.
I think it's pretty insane that Fortnite's lasted as long as it has. Holy shit.
I think it's really all the cross promotion they've been doing because like Master Chiefs in Fortnite, Sephiroth's in Fortnite, everybody's here.
Sephiroth in Fortnite? I thought it was Kratos.
Kratos is in
It's
Fortnite.
the only game where Master Chief and Kratos are in the same game, where you can have a Master Chief and a Kratos looking at each other.
Okay, I was about to say, what about the Dead or Alive franchise? I thought they had a Master Chief and Kratos crossover at some point.
No, Dead or Alive had a Spartan.
Oh, okay.
But there was never a Kratos in Dead or Alive. There was a Kratos in Mortal Kombat, though. Mortal Kombat got an exclusive character, and then Xbox got nothing, as they usually do for some reason. Because it's like everyone was like, "Why God of War? Why don't I have a Gears of War character on the Xbox side? Like GOW on both sides. You can have Marcus Phoenix with the chainsaw gun. Bang, bang,
Perfect.
bang. You're dead." Like, all right, well.
So this is the one thing I really wanted to hit in the history of Rito as a company. In 2012, in response to toxicity and harassment in League of Legends, Rito Games launched a player behavior team of psychologists to combat harassment and toxicity in their platform.
That is interesting. Reasonable.
I've never this.
Do you think it's worked?
Well, no, but I want it because I thought that I read this sentence as you were saying it out loud, and I thought you were going to talk about what is that? The player base could go into a thing and look at all of the reports.
Tribunal. I forgot about that.
Tribunal. That's a
Dude, that was awesome. It's gone now.
It's gone, but I fucking loved the Tribunal. Victor, did you ever get to see the Tribunal?
No, I don't think so.
All right, Nave, you can explain this.
Dude, it's great. You used to be able to go in as a third party, as just a player, and look at report logs, so you could see the chat, and just so you could just get like a fucking couple IPAs and just waste 2 hours reading people call each other the N-word on fucking Riot Games fucking video game.
Right.
It's so ridiculous. And you got like a little score too. So if people got banned, if you said this piece of shit needs to get banned, and they got banned later, you would get a score. It'd be like, hey, you're doing good. And then if people didn't get banned and you go, hey, this person shouldn't get punished, then you would also get positive score. So it encourages you to be like, the majority vote really kind of thing. Like, this guy shouldn't get banned because this probably was unprompted. Like, this is probably prompted, like they were killing him and then he got mad at, like, something happened. You know what I mean? You can usually tell when someone's just a toxic asshole immediately out of the gate. So
Plus, it would give you like so much details. You'd have the whole chat log, and then you could also see the score, like the final score of the games, and I think you could see their builds too. So you could tell which person was an intentional feeding troll, or you could tell who was just like having a bad game.
Right, right. So is that like, I don't know how familiar you guys are with like CS:GO, but like CS:GO has their like, at least they did back then. I haven't played in years, but they had this like Overwatch thing that like once you reach a certain rank in the game, you could like watch footage of people that were reported, and then you'd get to like cast your votes like, oh yeah, they were cheating, or yes, they were griefing, or
Oh, if they had like an aimbot?
yeah, exactly. Like so, like if somebody was reported, you get to watch that footage of that game and decide for yourself if like they were really like guilty of like whatever they were reported of like being toxic or just like cheating, aimbots, wall bots and stuff like that. And like you just like, yeah, no, this guy was being like super like toxic, killing his teammates, blah blah blah. And you're like,
Mhm.
yes. I wanted to kind of comment on that. Like I'm actually impressed. Like I didn't know that when Philip was saying that like it's the second most popular game, and I have to give props to them because like they've been out for like a long time, and I think like Fortnite has been out for like 4 years, 4 or 5 years, six, maybe six. I don't know how long,
Long
but
time. Yeah, but to stay that relevant is insane.
that is that's what I'm saying. Like I'm surprised, like Austin said too, that it's kept its popularity this far. Fortnite has, but I am even more surprised that like League has been able to. I mean, it's been out for over a decade and it's still like up there. So like that's pretty impressive. But it is kind of hard to control the toxicity. I feel like it's kind of like what can they do as as a company to like lower it?
One main thing that I have observed, I've been playing a lot of like different competitive games over the years, and I feel like there's definitely a correlation between toxicity levels and the competitive nature of a game. Some of the most competitive games that I can think of off the top of my head are simultaneously the most toxic communities to be in at the same time. So, I mean, and the games that pop up are League of Legends, Counter-Strike, Global Offensive, and Resident Evil,
Yes, Resident
Rainbow
Evil.
Six Siege. Rainbow Six Siege is also
Oh,
horrifically
no
toxic.
Overwatch?
I do not fuck with Overwatch. I never really liked that game. I like the Donkey videos though; they're very
Yeah,
funny.
they're so funny.
These games, I think it's because you see a lot of toxicity not only against the enemy team, but you also see the toxicity in the team itself. You're playing a lot of games of League or a lot of games of Rainbow Six, and you see somebody do something objectively stupid, right? And it costs you a round or it costs you an advantage in some way. It's hard to not completely destroy this guy's morale
Yeah.
in the text chat. You know, it's because they just destroyed your morale. I have been emotionally harmed by watching you do that stupid thing. Why did you do that stupid thing? There's clearly all this information that you had at your disposal to tell you not to do that. Well, it's hard to not lash out at that person. Like I've just stopped fucking typing really in the game and League and see in Rainbow Six. If I start getting tilted, I just fucking take my head not take my headset off because you need it, but I'll mute my mic and I'll just mute the party chat. I'll just completely disassociate with it.
Which, to put you on blast real quick, but you are a tilty boy. You are a pinball machine with a shaky leg. Like we were playing like Destiny last night. Was last night or the night before? We played like I
Might have
get
been
that you
last night.
played the night before, so you'd already experienced the cancer that is the Destiny
Dude, the
experience.
PvP is bad.
Yeah.
It's not balanced. It's
But
still
like
not
we had
balanced.
like maybe one really bad match where it was just unplayable and we were just getting wrecked by the cheesiest strategies. And it was bad, but you were so mad. You were just like screaming at these like we were the only ones in chat. So you're literally screaming at me about these guys and how angry you were. And meanwhile I'm like, dude, we just got to finish the game to complete the mission. We don't even got to win. Like it doesn't matter.
Well, to be fair, I'm a drama queen. Like, if you could see me, if you only hear me, it sounds like I'm screaming. But if you're looking at me, I'm not that mad. I'm just like chilling on the
Okay.
couch. I'm like, in games like, especially like League of Legends, you can really see somebody's personality quirks at their extremes. Like, you will go through ranges of emotions because these matches can last up to an hour and a half long. You can be
Yeah.
trapped in this fucking game.
On a bad match.
And it really tests your mettle. Like it tests what kind of stress you're capable of withstanding and where your breaking points are. And it's like at this point in League, I've been playing for like what on and off for like 7, 8 years now or something like that. Ridiculous. And so I've gone beyond the point of like horrifically angry at this game, I have a cap about halfway to that limit where I go, I'm fucking done. This game's over. I don't fucking care anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah.
like, whatever. I do not allow myself to go beyond the fucking pale where I'm like, I'm going to break my monitor if I see this guy do something stupid again.
Yeah.
How many times have you been chat banned?
Once. And it wasn't
Okay.
even my fucking fault.
What about you, Victor? You ever get the chat ban where you tell
I've
somebody
never-
to uninstall too many times?
I've actually never been banned in any game before. We'll see though.
Wow.
There's still time. I know, but I will say though, it is more reasonable to get banned on League because I just feel like I know it happens in plenty of games, but League especially, I feel like friendly fire is terrible in League. And what I mean by that is like you just get like I get more trash talked by my own
From your own
teammates
team.
than
Yeah.
any enemy team has ever trash talked me, hands down. And I'm just like I don't understand because it is a competitive game, and like Nave mentioned, that's usually the games that people trash talk more, and I completely agree. But it's usually the enemy team trash talking to get like like get a rise out of them,
Yeah, to
like
try and
throw off
shake you
your
up.
game. Exactly. It's like, but like in League, it's like your own team, and it doesn't make sense to me because like that's never gonna help ever.
Yeah, League is a 1v9 game.
Really.
That's how you have
reals.
to think about it.
Mentally, it's a 1v9. Physically, it is a 5v5, but mentally, it's definitely a 1v9. It's
You
brutal.
go into a match and you don't know how you're going to be insulted by your own team's LeBlanc mid because you didn't gank in time, or you ganked too soon, and
Yeah.
LeBlanc was like, "Oh, you messed up my wave." Like you trashed here, Wood 5 scrub.
Honestly, though,
Yeah.
that's exactly how it goes.
You see I know a lot of people that have just I think you can automatically make it to where all of the chat is turned off so that you
Yes.
don't see anything. You can have it turned where all the pings, because there's a ping system and it makes a loud annoying sound. And that sound's supposed to get your attention, right? It's like,
Yep.
oh shit, they're coming down to your lane, ping ping. So someone goes, uh-oh, what's on the map? Someone's
Yeah.
coming probably, but people will ping 17 times in a row just to annoy the shit out of you. And it's like, oh, it obviously goes on a cooldown, right? Yeah, it goes on a cooldown for probably about like 8 or 9 seconds, and then ping, 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 and it's like, okay.
No.
You can individually mute pings too, but some people just completely turn it off, which is a shame. But
It's almost two different forms of communication, like that, such a way that like Riot like specifically lets you ban or like mute one, like the chat or the pings or both
Yeah.
even. But like it's funny because like the pings, like you said, can be so helpful that like you can choose to never talk to anybody in the game, but still hear their pings because it can be helpful, or vice versa. But it's just interesting that like you can be toxic in so many different ways in League.
Exactly. Like my favorite toxic ping is whenever like I'm like, hey, I'm ganking top, and I'll do the ping that says like on my way top or something. I'll go up top, and things will go south, and I'll end up getting killed or something like that. And the enemy or the friendly top laner will then like backtrack, and he'll just throw down the question mark ping on my dead
Question
body.
mark, yeah,
And
that's what I
he's
was
like,
gonna
what
say.
were you thinking, you dummy? And I'm like, this is the most passive aggressive ping I've ever seen. You
the
know, it's like,
funniest thing is that that's not even the original intent of the question mark ping. The question mark
I-
ping is supposed to be used for the enemy is missing. I don't know where they are, but they're
Yeah.
over here somewhere.
yeah,
That's literally, I feel like that's like the international use of like the question mark now. It's
They
like
might as well rename it
yeah,
to
just
the
drop it on
why.
another person's body, be like, yeah,
you have
what's
the you
wrong
have
with you?
the yeah, you have the I'm going over there to help you ping. There's the I need backup, like there's people like I need help here. And then I don't even know what
The other
the
one is
one is the
danger.
danger. Yeah, it's like be careful. And then there's the why are you even coming this way, or why did you do this?
Yeah,
Because
what were you thinking?
it's
The what were you
terrible.
thinking ping?
Yeah, what were you thinking? That's perfect. The what were you thinking ping. It's like the most it's the most aggressive ping out of all of them, really.
That's the worst fucking feeling when you're playing Zac and you engage and then you die and then you just get this cacophony of question marks across the mid lane. And you're like,
Yeah,
I'm fucking never ganking anyone ever fucking again. Fucking, I'm I'm farming my feral flare now. See ya.
And then there's
so
also the my favorite ping to spam ping is actually the like non-specific ping because it won't even tell you who's pinging. So it's like really good.
Until you accidentally click on something.
Yeah,
And
that's good.
so Nave, how do they fix the toxicity in League?
they never did.
No, how do they do it? Or is that your answer? They never did.
And they never did. I'm the narrator now. Yeah, I have no idea. Like, I don't think it's possible, honestly.
Yeah, I think that's a hard call just because, I mean, it's kind of a hard call just because it's a 5v5, which means there's like 10 different points of views for every single problem or every single report. So like, I think it's like pretty hard to just like stop it from happening. But I think it's something that like, I guess like just let it roll and see what happens.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, they kind of have it with the report system, which is nice, and they have the mute, which is nice too.
They have like robots which by the way, this is how I got chat banned. I got into a
Okay.
fight with I was playing by myself and I ended up with 4 people in a party. The game was going poorly. We're all, getting upset with each other. And towards the end of the game, they start screaming at me. They're all ganging up on me. You do it on the random. You gang up on the random. And so I started, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna cuss these guys out. Fuck it. And then they went into all chat. They're like, hey, this guy's super toxic. Fucking
Oh no.
report him. And so I was like, I'm literally, they're ganging up on me. They're all friends. You can see they're all in the same clan and stuff. And so I'm like, they're ganging up on me. But the enemy team reports me anyway. And then I instantly get banned. Like the moment I'm out of that game, I'm already chat banned. And
Wow.
I appeal it. I'm like, listen, these guys antagonized me the whole game. And I appealed. I got desperately. I was like, I've never been banned before. I've played this game for years, never been banned, right? And the person got back to me and they're like, just because they were calling you the N-word doesn't give you the right to defend yourself by calling them stinky bitches. So sorry, you can't say that word, and so you get banned. I'm like, okay, but I reported them. Did they get banned? And they're like, we can't disclose that information. I'm like, they didn't get banned. That's what you're fucking telling me. Because only one person reported those 4, but everyone reported me. So,
Plus, if they would have gotten banned, you get that little message now that's like
Yeah, that
your
says.
unsportsmanship like report has been whatever, and it's like the person has been banned,
That
and you're
feels
like,
so good.
yes,
it
yeah,
feels
yeah.
so good whenever that happens. I don't even know. I don't even remember. I don't remember the last game, the
He's like,
moment
I
I'm
don't
out of the
know.
game.
He's like, I don't know which one of the 50 last people that I've reported in the last, but I'm glad that you got banned.
I used to wonder if they're real, or if it's just
And
like if you've done any report, they'll just send you that message
honestly,
after a
yeah,
while to make you shut up.
I thought there was
honestly,
like it's like that you have like a reputation, like a hidden value that says like the more you report people, the less valuable your report is, or something like that. So if you don't report people ever and you report someone, your report is like higher in the rank of reporting because you went out of your way to be like, this guy specifically was an asshole, and I
yeah.
hated that. But I think that might be fucking false. I don't know. It might not. It might be a different game.
All right, we've been going long with toxicity in League. I think it's time to move on to the game mechanics. So, Victor, to someone that has never played a MOBA before, I want you to explain to me what is League of Legends.
So,
Good luck.
League of Legends, as far as like I think like a general overview, is a strategy game. It's a 5 players against 5 players that they work together to destroy objectives, and which the objectives are the towers, and they together like build up strategies, currency to buy items and become stronger, and then be able to destroy the objectives and eventually destroy the main objective, which is called the Nexus. And once you destroy the enemy team's Nexus, you win the game. So that's the general overview. But there's obviously a lot of, in
Nuance.
between strategy, like little details that happen in between, and more importantly, a lot of toxicity that happens in between.
Hey, we're done with
as we've
toxic
discussed.
talk.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Let's
This
move on.
is
We can have a whole episode on how toxic League of Legends is.
yeah, I know. I just wanted to bring that in for a little bit, but we talked about it for half an hour.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. But I think overall, it's a pretty unique design for a game. I guess like Dota is similar, but like besides those 2 games, okay, Smite is like that too. So I guess like more games have branched out from it, but it's
It did
definitely like
turn into
a
its own
fun.
genre.
Yeah, it's its own like genre that like I've never played before until I played League. So
Okay. So that was actually a really good description because I've had this problem before where I was trying to explain what the League of Legends gameplay is to another person that's never played it. And I'm like, okay, so picture football where you have like different roles where you have your lineman, your quarterback, your wide receiver, it's like picture that. And you're trying to get to the other end to destroy their point and win the game. but you're blocked by the turret and it just falls apart. Like,
Hey,
and
that's
there's
not a bad start
lanes,
though, honestly.
like
It's a good
yeah.
analogy.
It's like, so you got your mid laner who is usually your quarterback, kind
I
of
was
like
about to say
managing the
quarterback for
main
sure. Yeah.
zone. You have your wide receiver that's just out there looking for picks. That's your jungler.
That's
Meanwhile,
actually
you
not
got
bad. I'm
yeah.
pretty impressed.
Thanks, man. Meanwhile, you got your like I don't know, like your linemen, which are usually either like your top lane and support, and then I don't even know any other football. Like, was it soccer? You got the forward, yeah, like the strikers. You got your
Yep,
striker, that's your ADC. Now I'm
for sure.
combining football and soccer, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, that's actually I was impressed. Like whenever you started doing that analogy, I was like,
Oh,
it was
in my
Yeah.
actually
head,
came off really good.
what I think the quarterback would be the jungler, and the wide receivers would be the ADC and the mid laner,
Look at this
and
jungle centric talk. Come
the
on.
halfback
Mhm.
would be the top laner.
Of
It
course.
depends. Really, it depends on who you're playing because you could have like a zillion mid, and then obviously that's the halfback now. You know that guy's doing the running plays, but you have a Darius top. So now, okay, Darius is the one I want. So Darius wide receiver. The ADC is always a wide receiver because you're always trying to give as many kills as you can to them.
All right, now let's do a golf analogy. I'm just
Oh
kidding.
no.
So the hole is
Oh
the
my god.
support.
So League of Legends, you have basically 5 separate roles. Each one can be summed up pretty much. ADC just provides usually constant damage to destroy structures. Your support protects the ADC. Your mid laner usually brings either utility or pure damage, like usually burst damage to the field. Top laner is usually a very flexible role where they can usually tank, but they can also be like an assassin or pretty much any variation on the others. And the jungle is also very flexible.
What I would say is most teams want a very tanky person, and most teams want 2 characters who can deliver a lot of CC. So mid lane and the marksman, they're always high damage no matter really what. And so they may or may not have CC, and the more CC that they have, the less CC that the other roles need to provide. Like if the jungler and the top laner are tanks, then the support can be super squishy. Like they can be a healer now because the role of tank is covered because you don't need 3 tanks because now you have less damage or support for everyone to have. Whereas if you have a jungle assassin, the top laner probably would want to be tankier because assassins generally are way weaker. Like, I mean, well, they're way easier to kill.
Yeah.
They're like glass cannons. So the support may go, oh, maybe I should be a tank this time around so that I can help the assassin. You know, it's like there's so much variety and variance in the compositions of your team. Like we were saying, this game is competitive, but it's so inherently cooperative. Even before you've chosen the character you want to play, you're looking at your team and going, how can I complement this? Like
Yeah.
there's a character who can only use his ultimate ability if the enemy has been knocked up. Well, his name is Yasuo. You have no idea how often I will pick Zac, and because 3 of my 4 abilities knocks the enemy up, which means if I had a Yasuo on my team, he can reliably ult like all the time. So you have no idea how often I'll pick Zac, and then someone further down the champion select screen will go, "Oh, I'm playing Yasuo, obviously, because look at that guy. I'm gonna
Yeah.
ult all day." You know what I mean? And then we go together like fucking peanut butter and sardines. It's fucking awesome. So
But to be fair, there's more often than not what happens in the selecting of the champions is that you go into a game already decided which champion you want to play
Yep.
regardless of what they so it's not really like a team synergy. It's like I really feel like playing this character regardless of what
oh yeah,
anybody else thinks.
you always are picking around the randoms.
Yeah. Honestly. If you're a
The
good player,
insta
like
locks,
yeah, that's the locks.
The
which
guy who's playing Z69
oh
420X.
oh my god, those people kill me too. Like I get it, we have our mains, but whenever I go into a normal game and I see instantly the enemy team locks in Yasuo, level 7, 4.2 million mastery points, where it's like, okay, this guy only plays Yasuo in normal games. This is what he does. And I'm like, dude, come on. Like,
It's so hard to get around myself when I'm trying to consider. It's like even that I would be like, who the fuck picks their main in normals? And you're like, oh, this guy only plays Yasuo in normal. And I'm like, I didn't even consider that
yeah.
because why wouldn't you play ranked at that point? I'm like,
Yeah.
you bastard, you're ruining this for us here.
Yeah, because the normals, you just want to go in there and yeehaw it. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna play Zira support because I never play Zira, and now's a good time to maybe practice. And I go in there and I'm like, plant, plant, and then Yasuo goes, face the wind, and like leaps through like 6 bushes, all my minions, knocks me up.
His tornado knocks you into the air, and then he jumps up and dunks you into the ground, and you fall
Yeah.
through the floor, and you land in a bot match. And he goes, "Stay there."
Oh my God.
That's what it's like.
Stay there.
Which that's one joke I cannot get away from that I say every time now. Like every time we get a couple kills, I'll just be like, is this bots? Because like bots is just like a game mode where you can go and test out new characters, and the bots are insanely dumb. They do not know how to play League of Legends at all. So you just destroy them every time.
Dude, I remember when I played against intermediate bots, and I got ignited. I was like, "Oh, I'm on fire!" Like, I did not expect them to use their summoner abilities. They'll flash occasionally, but I got literally ignited. It didn't kill me, but I was like, "Wow,
Sure.
I
it
can't
did.
heal for a second." Flat
Back
out.
to mechanics. So we have our roles, we have our lanes, and there's little minions carrying bags of money that just walk down the lanes. And it's up to us, the heroes, to murder these tiny little minions.
And steal their money.
Yeah.
There are amazing animations on YouTube. I wish off the top of my head. I think it's like RH Realism or something. They have these amazing animations. If anyone's listening at this point, you probably are at least a little interested in League of Legends. I would look up these RH Realism League. It is RH Realism. I literally wow. But like look at just type in RH Realism in YouTube. Probably the first thing you're gonna see is their YouTube video called Winions. And it's an amazing illustration of what it feels like to play with these because they're like it's such an epic battle and they're fighting against each other, but then the champions show up and just start massacring them all in droves. Like it
Yeah.
shows the minions go. There are turrets in this game we'll get to, but the turrets, the whole main, every lane has turrets and you have to kill them. But the minions will, regardless of what is going on, will continue to fight and push into these turrets. And the turrets are their job is to kill everything that shows up. So it shows in the illustration the minions running up to the turret, and the turret is like a Goliath shooting death beams down, and they're all dying around. It's like they're all looking around trying to find their friends. it's such
It
a
looks
good
like
illustration.
D-Day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like it's the exact stuff. They're so simple and dumb looking, but they look kind of like Vivi from oh shit. This is relatable, right? Like a black mage from Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say Vivi specifically from Final Fantasy 9, but oopsies. I said some nerd shit.
Oh, no.
Budweiser, IPAs.
Oh my
Cancel
God.
it out.
All right, getting back to topic. So you kill these little money bags, and then you can buy items for your builds.
The end.
The
Well,
end.
no, the builds are very important to the game. This whole website is dedicated just to building your character based on what items you buy.
I've so long ago checked out from builds. Like I'm just building whatever I want at this point. Again,
Yeah.
I've looped like that's what you do when you first start. You're building whatever you want, and now you're min-maxing, building optimal things. And now I'm just like, I could probably use some armor. Just fucking throw some
No.
armor on myself.
I do like your curve. It definitely goes, you don't know what you're building, to you're building what the pros build every time, to joke builds where you're building AP misfortune and trying to win with it. And then back up to just like, or no, down to, I don't know what to build.
Does that misfortune have Rabadon's death cap?
Yeah.
Oh my
Like,
god!
oh, and she has a Gnasher's tooth now.
Don't get ulted by that bitch. That's gonna fucking hurt.
Which, okay, I know we keep branching off. You guys got any favorite off-meta builds for characters?
Even from the past, because I know I've got like
Yeah.
fucking 4 things in my head. I'm just gonna pick one.
Oh,
but-
there's definitely quite a few. And like I said, I play top all the time. So my current favorite thing to do right now actually is play Zac top actually. He's like incredibly tanky, but still does an insane amount of damage. And you just build straight tank. That's it. You build 0 damage, but he still does an insane amount of damage. And like we mentioned before, he has so much utility in the game with crowd control and stuff like that. So regardless, at the very least, you'll be like an invaluable tool like in the team fights. So it's really fun playing him top and just kind of tilting people.
What about you?
What about
Philip?
you, Nave?
Oh, okay, I can go next.
Oh.
There used to be a rotating game mode, which Every week there's a different rotating game mode, but there's one specifically popular one. I think you both already know where I'm going.
Earth.
There's one specifically popular one. How dare
Twisted
you
Tree
cut me
Line.
off? Earth. Fine, it's Earth.
Oh.
Earth stands for Ultra Rapid Fire, which, all it means, it's like the same exact game, only you do like 700,000 times more damage, which doesn't matter because you have like 700,000 times more health. But you see big flashy numbers now. Instead of like 45 damage, you're doing 3,009, whatever. And so there is no more mana restrictions, no more cooldown, or the cooldown is reduced for all your abilities by like 80% or something. Where all of the champions, they have their own little tweaks, like, the busted things are toned down a little bit. It's on a champion by champion basis. But really, all it is that you are just fucking pushing all of the buttons constantly, all 4 buttons for 20 minutes straight, using all your abilities, throwing your abilities everywhere. My favorite thing to do in this game, and it's gone now, unfortunately, is there's this item. Normally, when you're building items, you
I know exactly what
only build one item of each thing, mostly because each item has their own unique ability. And so if you bought 2 of that, so say it's like this gives you 5 extra damage, that's the unique ability. Well, if you bought 2 of them, you don't get 10 extra damage. You'll still only get 5 because you still only have that one unique ability, even though you have 2 items. So I don't care about the unique ability of this item. The only thing I care about is that it gives me a bunch of damage and it makes my crit chance go up. So it goes up by 20%. You want to do quick math? That means if I buy 5 of these, I have a 100% crit chance and a whole bunch of extra damage, plus the unique passive that makes my crits do 50% more damage. This sounds complicated, but really, all I'm doing is buying 5 of these things, so I have 100% crit. I crit every time, and they do more damage. Now, there's this character named Garen.
Old Gare Bear.
And he is the Beyblade. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember Beyblade, but he just spins like a top. He just spins. That's his only ability. You're fucking pressing E over and over, so you have carpal tunnel by the end of the game. And this ability can crit. So since the cooldown is reduced by 80%, you can press E to turn it on, press E to turn it off, and normally it would go on a 3-second cooldown, but now the cooldown is like, I don't know, 0.2 seconds. So if you sit there and mash E, you basically continuously spin for the rest of the game, and you're critting every second, and it looks like you're a lawnmower blade, and the champions are just blades of grass, and you just walk through people, and they just die instantly the moment they touch you. But that doesn't exist anymore because now you can't buy multiple they made different tiers of items and they fucked it all up. The store's all clusterfuck. I still hate it. I still hate the store. They took away so much creativity because you can really, it was to combat trolls. So it's one of the things you were saying is like, how do we get rid of the toxicity? Well, some trolls would do is they would build one item 5 times and they just like me. But I was actually killing people in Earth. And anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about. Philip, you talk about whatever.
Oh, Nave, you silly Billy. We were talking about alternate builds. There was not a break there. And my favorite alternate build, which doesn't exist anymore, of course, was AP Scion. Back when he was
oh my god.
Bad or good?
My brain.
Yeah.
Brain.
Scion is like a cool monster juggernaut creature now, where he like smashes things with a giant axe and bash. What?
Well, I was gonna ask Victor if he even remember. Do you know what Scion used to be like before he got reworked into what he is now?
I didn't know he even got reworked, so probably.
Oh my god!
This is a treat, then. This is a treat because it's awesome.
Like, okay, new Scion. He's big, hulky juggernaut. He runs around, smashes things. He goes choo choo, and he like runs down the lane and becoming unstoppable. Well, old Scion was a derpy old man with like battle armor, with like a giant axe that he would hold in 2 hands like this.
He was so ugly.
Yeah, he was really bad looking. And his whole premise was he could stare at you so hard it would stun you with a point and click like Tarek. He could turn up the damage on his auto attacks so that whenever he killed things with it, it would increase his max health. And I think he had a shield that he would activate.
He had a max health thing like Nasus. Like, instead of making his Q higher, it made his health go up infinitely.
Yeah, I don't even remember what his ultimate was. Oh, his ultimate just gave him attack speed. That was it.
Yeah.
So he could just hit you more. And yeah, and then his other thing was like he had a health shield that would explode after a certain point.
Kind of like
that was it. Yeah. And
Except it's way
so
better now.
my favorite thing about him though is you could build AP. So you had a stun that scaled with AP something ridiculous, like 1-to-1 ratio. So you would get like one ability power and it would increase by at least 1 damage plus base damage. So you would get a death cap, which was like 140 or something like that. You're like, cool, that's okay. But stack that with all your other AP items, all of a sudden you're hitting for 500, 600 on one Q that you can't miss, and it stuns him. God, it was so hard to get to this point because you had no gap closers. You basically were terrible in lane because you had terrible mana usage. So once you got to like late game though, you'd walk straight up to their ADC, stare at them, and they would freeze, lose half their health. You would walk up with your giant health shield, which also scales with AP, would then explode and kill them, and you wouldn't auto attack them once. And it was the dumbest looking like playstyle. Like you would just be walking around with your giant axe, death laser, and it had like a 5-second cooldown. So if the fight lasted longer than 5 seconds, death laser again. And it was just so brokenly useless, but fun at the same time.
That's
I'm pretty
actually
sure he
pretty
got reworked just because people were playing him AP and people were getting mad about it.
I did look up pictures of him on Google, what he
Oh yeah,
looked
what's
like
your
back
opinion?
then.
Oh my
It's
god.
it's funny because they show him side by side, like in-game footage, and there was definitely a big improvement because he looks so tiny and fragile, and
Yeah,
then he
it was just
becomes this
like
big muscular guy.
he looks so much better now, but I miss the old play style.
That's funny.
There's a lot of champions that got reworked that I miss their old playstyle. Like we're never gonna have. I wish they would have a rotating game mode where every character was their original incarnation.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
like
some characters would have to be banned, like Twisted Fate would have to just be gone because his Twisted Fate is an alt where he teleports everyone, reveals everyone. I'm pretty sure that was exactly just a normal ability on like a 15-second cooldown or something ridiculous. It's like,
I don't remember that
maybe not
part.
that. Like, well, that was like alpha. I've never played it, but I
Yeah.
remember watching someone talk about Twisted Fate
His
back when I
ultimate
used
used
to
to
play
be
this game.
true global too. Like now he has a definite zone, I think, as far as like how far he can teleport.
Yeah,
But in the
yeah.
old one, it was like total map teleportation. You could teleport into their fountain from your fountain.
It would be cool if like Riot came out with this like line of skins that were like the old look, but like maybe with still the new abilities that they
Oh
currently
man,
have, so it
that would
doesn't
look
throw
so
people off.
bad.
I
They
know it
did
looks
that
so
with
interesting.
Gangplank with well, I mean, it's not the same, but I'm pretty sure if you owned Gangplank before, you got the traditional Gangplank skin, which was how he used to look but updated. Like so it's his current character model, but it's like the same clothes he was wearing. It doesn't look nearly like the same, but
Do you guys remember the old Galio?
yeah.
Oh, dude, Galio was so bad.
I
So bad.
loved playing old Galio actually. I
What?
actually
Really?
played old Galio unironically
Didn't
because of
he
his
have like a tornado like like the Janna character thing? Like
Yeah, you would throw it in a straight line, but it didn't knock
yeah.
anyone
and
off.
you would run faster. That's the only thing it
Yeah,
did.
that's right. I forgot about that.
But
And he
I
could put
loved his
like
ult.
shields on people too.
He's
He
definitely
just
better
felt like
now. I'm not saying he was better before. I'm just saying I loved him back then because that taunt was like very unique. It was a because Ramos always had the taunt, but he only taunted one person. A taunt. Okay, so in the game, whenever you taunt someone, it forces them to auto attack you, but it makes it to where they can't use any abilities or move anymore. So if you have a 2-second taunt on somebody, which is hilariously long, which I think it was probably about Galio's taunt, but they would just be attacking you. That's all they could do. Well, Galio had an enormous AOE. Like you know how when now his taunt is on his W, but you have to charge it. So the longer you charge it, the further the AOE gets.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure at max length, it was still like double the
yeah, it
AOE. It
was
was
huge.
huge, and so you would taunt everything. Like you know how much I love CCing everybody. So you would taunt everything. And then your team would just clean them up while you were getting your ass beat like a fucking nerd getting your lunch money taken by the bullies.
I will say that like Galio was one of those like updated visual changes that like I didn't realize how out of place he looked until they updated it, and I'm like, wow, he did look really odd compared to
He
every
was
other
really
champion.
ugly.
Yeah, and like now he looks good, like he looks decent.
That
And
was the meme. Or Galio and Urgot, they were the meme for the longest time for
oh
the
yeah,
visual
I
updates.
forgot
Yeah,
about
like the
Urgot.
old bad champs.
Galio was the ugliest character. Even to this day, he was the ugliest character that they ever had. Now he kind of
Okay,
looks very menacing.
so mechanics. We've covered lanes, we covered builds. I think the only thing left is probably just talking about team composition and probably
Team leader.
yeah, like shot calling.
Shot caller, yeah.
So of course you have your teams all together, you're out there playing the game, you're farming in lane, getting the goal, getting the builds, but you need to make plays. I really don't know much about football, but I assume it's like the quarterback's on the field, he talks to the coach or whatever, or he goes and talks to the boys and he's like, "All right guys, here's what we're going to do."
Yeah, the coach calls the plays, the quarterback makes the audibles, right?
I Yeah, I don't know. We
It,
didn't play football. I don't know, Victor, you play football?
No, I played soccer.
Same thing. All right.
so football
Yeah.
So football, yeah.
for the rest of the world, football.
So the shot caller, that this is a role like we all kind of play together, we communicate. This usually flows back and forth of each of us like calling shots, where it usually comes down to a set of conditions where I'll say I have my ult, and then Nave will usually say like either if he has an opening or something like that. Like it's almost like a set of checks. Like, okay, to win the game, I need to have my ult, Nave needs to have an opening, and we all need to be in position. Otherwise, there's no win condition and the game's over.
In my head, the shot caller is almost always either going to be the person who has got the most kills, and so therefore they have the most gold and items, they have the most damage output, or B, the person with the most reliable engagement repertoire. Like there are some champions in this game who are Swiss Army knives as far as how they engage. I'm always going to refer back to Zach, where it's so hard to understand where that character is going to come from, and I could even just walk into the middle of a fight and then just begin the fight. You know what I mean? Like there are certain characters who are just better than others at engaging. I mean, so unless there's some kind of pick that happens, as in like one enemy team kind of wanders a little bit too far away from his teammates so that we can pick him off, and now
Yeah.
it's an obvious advantage that we can just run in there and fight. Uh, Almost everyone is looking to me. I mean, not like I'm good, but because I'm the tank and I have the engage, everyone's waiting for me to do something. So
Yeah.
that puts me, that's why I was saying before, I'm like that almost always puts me in this quarterback position where I'm like, I think I'm like, do I go in now? Do I go in now? What about this guy? And so we're all communicating verbally, like through Discord or whatever we're doing, just trying to figure out when all of our abilities are up, when we're in an optimal position, how far are we away from the nearest turret? Can they escape? What characters do they have? There's a billion different little variations in this one little scenario where we're all just together in the middle lane, like trying to fight each other. It's like this is probably never happens, right? This happens constantly. Happens at least once a game. And these games last for like 40 minutes. Usually it happens like 3 or 4 times where everyone meets in the middle because they're tired of fucking playing this game. They want to end it. And they're like, "How do we end this? Like how do we do this in a way that I win?"
Yeah, the team shuffle where both teams are like standing across the line doing the dodgeball thing where we're all holding our dodgeballs, waiting for someone to get a little too close. But we're really waiting for our shot caller or our engage to basically go in like, "We're fighting now," and then like starts the fight. And that's usually the tank.
Yeah, I was gonna say it really just depends on a billion circumstances, and that's one reason why this game is so popular to this day. I would imagine because of the variance. Like you look like a 1 second clip of 1,000 games, and they all look the same, right? But when you're in the game, there's so many different things going on at any given moment. You will see a situation that seems familiar, but is completely different. Like you will catch somebody out in their jungle, right? And you're like, "Oh, last time I caught somebody out in their jungle, I killed them because Philip was mid and he came to help. Philip's mid. I should go get this guy." Well, the guy you found in the jungle is Hecarim. That guy bounces. He leaves. And you're like, okay, well, I didn't die at least. And when you get back, you're walking back to River with Philip. Well, the person who was mid lane, it's not Malzahar like it was whenever you did that one thing the last time. It's Katarina. And she has 5 kills. And now you're both dead because you made
Oh
a bad
no.
call because Katarina is really good at fighting multiple people and she has a lot of gold. Well, that's the kind of thing that's happening constantly. And that sounds like, oh, that'll never happen. That'll happen once maybe in a year. That happens all the fucking time. You will do something that you've done 100 times and that's been successful, and then this 101st time completely fails on its face. And as a player, if you want to get better at this game, you have to look at that situation and go, why did that happen? Like every time I've ever jumped on somebody and there was two people with us, we all won. Oh, it's because Darius has 8 kills and his ult was on. He had already ulted somebody. You know what I mean? So he's just chopping everybody down. You know what I mean? There's always something to learn, even after years and years of playing this game. You're always learning, and it addicts you, really.
Oh yeah. Victor, how often have you heard League referred to as like a drug of choice?
It's pretty interesting because I think I agree. Like League is like such an addicting game, and it's funny because it doesn't matter how infuriating like some games might be or how tilted you get is what they call, when you get super angry,
Yeah.
and doesn't matter how toxic your teammates are. You just like it's almost like if you just give yourself like a couple hour break, you're like, you know what I feel like doing? Playing League again and
Yeah.
like getting
Even though you
tilted
had a
again.
terrible time last time you played.
Yeah. Even though you like swore awfully, the last thing you said before you left your computer was like, "I'm never gonna play this game again. I'm gonna install it, all this." But like, it always ends up the same way. You give yourself time to cool off, and you're like ready to play again and be like hurt again.
I'm ready to be hurt.
I'm ready.
There's so many different emotions that go through your mind whenever you become very, very invested in this game. And it's not like people who are listening that don't know what League is, they go and they try and play it for a week. Like you probably more than likely you're going to be like Victor, where you're like, I just don't know, I don't understand, and I don't like this. It's very hard. It's a hard game. But when you're invested, it's like the games are. It's a combination of the amount of time that we've stayed on track with this and the amount of time that you are in a game. There's so many different things that happen, and I want to call back to something that we used to talk about, and we did once in Rock Band's episode. I think it's the third episode where we talked about the flow state, and I don't remember a lot of the points you were hitting on, but one thing I do remember is almost the repetition. Do you remember what I'm talking about? You might be able to elaborate. What was the repetition part of the flow
What?
state?
You're losing me. Oh, what I was talking about?
Yeah. Like
Oh.
you were specifically talking about
Oh, I think it was more like performing an action so many times that it becomes like rote, where you don't even have to use your brain to perform the action anymore. Like you don't think about moving your fingers to hit the yellow note. You hit the yellow note. You don't have to think about the motion. You just do it.
that is precisely what I wanted you to say. That's let me rewind for a second. When I didn't play this game for 6 months. I'm a Zach main. I played Zach probably 2,000 times. The first game back, Victor was there. I was doing shit that I couldn't believe I remembered how to do just from muscle memory. Like what I was saying, you go into the jungle, you die, yada yada yada. Why did I do that? You learn so many things. Like you built up this foundational knowledge of a character. Like what I was completely gambling almost. Like that kind of risk and reward. Like I could put 30 minutes into this game and have an amazing time, or I could put 30 minutes in this game and be miserable and be trapped into this game, like, and no one will let me out. You know what I mean? It's a lot more fun when you have friends around who can calm you down. But like this game, it has its ups and downs. You can really tap into some almost psychedelic experiences of like it's almost like euphoria when all five of you win a team fight and no one died. Like you ace the enemy team, all five of you working in unison, doing exactly what your role is supposed to do. All of you are playing characters you're familiar with. You have two or three of your boys in the voice chat, and you're all doing commands. The team fights in this game, it feels like they last like 40 seconds, but they last like 2 or 3 because you are in the zone. Your adrenaline is through the roof. Your eyes are dilated. Your eyes are darting all across the screen, trying to get as much information as you possibly can. You're like twitching, like making sure that you're on the exact pixel you need. Like if I miss this grab by a pixel, I could be killed right now, and then my team no longer has a tank because I died because I fucked it all up. Like the games, they get serious even when you're playing in casual. And that flow state, that zone that you can get into, when you get that release, whenever you're successful, it's like you just fucking stormed the beaches of Normandy and came out on top, right? To be as hyperbolous as you possibly can be.
Yeah.
Like,
Got a lot of sports and war talk in this episode.
is it? Well, it's like you get this crescendo. All of you are screaming like, "Yeah, we fucking did it!" You know, it's like, I don't even know what I'm talking about. But you can get into this trance in this fucking game, and I don't know psychologically how that keeps coming about, but that's got to be why even though this game released in 2009, it's number 2 in all of fucking multiplayer. Like, there has to be something there. Like, I have to be tapping into something
In your monkey
just
brain.
by talking about that. Yeah, in my reptilian brain.
All right, is there any more mechanic you want to hit on before we move on to final reviews?
Nah.
All right, let's take a quick break then. And we're back. Okay, Victor. So, you have a friend, and you say, let's play some games together. Would you recommend old League of Legumes to them to play together?
Good old League, huh? I think I would. I think overall League is an enjoyable game, and I think Nave has mentioned how like it's more enjoyable with friends, and I think everybody would agree that it's just like there's a more, I don't know, like a more of like enjoyable component to like not having to play so serious and like have you can just mess around and have a good time. But it's one of those games that I would have to explain how long it takes to learn it because it's not
Oh,
something
yeah.
you can just pick up. I would emphasize that a lot. But overall, I mean, especially because it's a free game. I mean, worst case scenario, you download it and you don't play it, or you end up not enjoying it. So there's like no harm done. So overall, I think I would recommend it. I mean, it's definitely worth a shot, and especially because it might be something that they really end up picking up for a good time. So
Yeah, so you're going to keep playing in the future, or are you ready to uninstall it, call it quits?
unfortunately, I'm one of those people that are completely addicted to it. So I probably will keep playing, regardless of how upset I get. And I think it's something that I do see myself playing for the next few years at least, and um, maybe get other people, other suckers, caught into
Oh,
this
yeah.
too. I'm just kidding.
Poor bastards.
Honestly, poor souls.
Well, you pretty much hit most of my nails on their heads. Almost all, I'm just probably just going to parrot what you said. The game has an enormous time investment. That's something I would always be upfront up with everyone that I want to introduce to this game. It's really hard to be a casual player because this game inherently pushes you to try and get better. Like, it is a game of learning, and you're constantly learning of all the interactions, and there's just way too many. It's innumerable almost. The barrier for entry is literally zero. It's own a computer, own a toaster even. It's like you can own this a rock with a battery taped to it, and you can probably play League on that. In fact, there's a League of Legends mobile called Wild Rift. I mean, it is gimped. It is a gimped version, but it's a free version on mobile that you can play as well, and you can get the gist of the game. It's a lot easier as well. In
Mhm.
fact, maybe even recommend League of Legends Wild Rift more than the regular game itself. But it's like, if you want a more expansive, or if you want to absorb a more in-depth experience than the PC League of Legends, the OG place where it all started, it's hard to deny the addictive nature of the game. The addictive nature of just pushing yourself to be stronger and stronger and stronger. Like, I mean, it's the Dragon Ball Z arc of learning curves. Like,
Yeah, you got to get good, scrub.
you literally feel like you're going Super Saiyan, and then you realize that if you just learned how to kite, you're Super Saiyan 2. And if you just learn how to zone now, you're Super Saiyan 3. And now if you learn how to deny creeps, you're Super Saiyan 4, baby. Like, you're doing it now. You know what I mean? It's like
Doing it.
there's always another layer after layer after layer of this fucking Shrek onion that you could peel back and, just chow down into. I don't want to bite into an
Oh.
onion. Yeah, it's a brutal game, and it's like, if a friend is trying to get you to play League, that friend doesn't care about your well-being. Let's be honest. That friend is
Okay.
like, if this guy is heart failure in 10 years because of this game, it'll be all right.
So the
Well, it's more
truth,
like you're a user and you're trying to get your friend addicted too, so
yeah,
you have somebody to use League of Legends with.
It's
honestly.
very toxic relationship status if he's opening up the ring case and it's Riot Games badge in there instead of a wedding ring.
So the truth comes out about how you really feel about me, huh?
I don't know. I would probably not recommend this game to people
Oh
anymore.
no.
Mostly because I don't play anymore, so I wouldn't be able to like cushion the environment as much as I possibly can around them. Because I feel like that's one of the only ways to sneak new players into this game is to have someone a lot more experienced play with you all the time and just constantly reinforce the new guy, constantly tell them what they're doing wrong, but in like a useful way. Not like, why did you walk into that fucking enemy? You died, you idiot. Like they died. Their screen is gray. It's in black and white now. They know that they fucked up, you know? I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm clearly not supposed to be in Hades right now, right? So I think I'm playing it wrong. But just know that this game is incredibly hard and it's taxing on you. It takes a lot out of you. It's a very long game. The game it's not like Call of Duty where you jump in for a 10-minute match. Like you're there for a while. It's like 25 minutes minimum. If you're having a horrible game and you can convince your teammates to surrender, which never happens by the way. You can surrender at 15 or 10 or whatever, I don't know. But
Surrenders for the weak.
yeah, nobody surrenders and it's a stressful game, but there's so much depth that if you really crave something to bite into, it's a game you can really enjoy. And there's plenty of different ways to learn. Like there's so many YouTube channels and websites dedicated to this game. Like you can literally just pick one character that stands out to you, which there's so many. There's so many champions in this game. You're going to find one at least that goes, I liked how this guy looks, you know, and it's almost like a personality quiz, you know. Just go to a friend who doesn't know League of Legends, pull up a picture of all the champions, just their portraits, and go, "Hey, which one of these do you like the most?" And they're like, "Oh, I kind of like this guy
Zed.
on the guy that's on fire." And I'm like, "Oh, that's Brand. He's a magic guy. He sets people on fire and he burns them alive." And they're like, "Oh, that's really cool." Well, you probably would like him then. You know what I mean? Like that's what he does. So,
What if they pick Riven or Fiora
well, then they're bad people.
or Vayne?
They're bad people.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
bad
you
people.
disassociate with them now. Like that's the litmus test. If you pick Yasuo or Master Yi, get the fuck out of my house. Give me my
Oh,
IPA
no.
back and
I play
go.
Yi.
I don't know why I keep referring to the IPA. Just had like 2 of them in the last month. Well, what about you, Philip?
Oh yes, League of Legends. Like a fine IPA. It sits. And to bite into your Shrek onion, Nave, I actually really enjoy League of Legends. It does have a lot of hangups, but what really brings me back is Jana, because she loves League of Legends too.
That's so sweet.
And we play a game together at least maybe once every 2 weeks. We're playing a game together. And that's why I think I'm going to keep playing this game in the future. Is that I have so much fun playing with her because like some of the craziest things will happen when we're like this game is so unpredictable, and we'll just get in and I'm like, okay, yeah, I haven't played in like maybe a month at this point. Let's just go in do an ARAM, and like, oh crud, there's a whole new champ. I don't know what it does. I'm not prepared for this. I have not, as you said, learned for this situation, and so I just get surprised. Whereas like right now, the new meta is Yasuo and Yone bottom lane. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna play Jinx because I need to get mastery level on her to level her up. And I like Jinx. She's cool. And so I go bot lane, and it's like, okay, I just look up a build, and it's like, oh, the number one counter right now for Jinx is ADC Yasuo, and I'm like, no one's gonna play ADC Yasuo. He's just an anime sword boy that runs around cutting people. He's not gonna be in bot lane where I'm a ranged person with a gun that's just gonna cap him. Every game we've played, the last like 3 games we've played where me and Jan have gone bot lane together, there has been an ADC Yasuo. He go every time. I don't know what the meta is right now.
That sounds so
But
awful.
yeah, well, I think we lost 2 and won 1. So, it's not too bad, but it is really hard.
I would like
So,
to preface this that I do enjoy League of Legends also.
yeah.
But I've been very down on it, but I enjoy playing it with my friends. Asterisk. I will never play this game by myself. But if it's a chill homie time, League's fun.
So, me and Jan are always playing it together. But to recommend it to a new person, I would almost half recommend because the funnest times I've ever had playing League were when we were playing custom games. Like, I don't know if you remember those, like, every once in a while. Like, the only problem with custom games is you either need enough players with a range of skill gaps so it's fair, or you need enough players where one champ won't dominate. Because me and Nave, I would always force him. I don't think you're really that into it. Or I'm like, Nave, 1v1 me on Howling Abyss.
I would fucking be so angry. But
Yeah,
back then,
because
I was
like,
like trying to farm to get the champions, like get the money. When you play customs, you don't get any money at all. So it's like, I just want to get all the champions.
because at that point I feel like I was almost playing like Smash Bros, where it's like just pick a character, go in, and we'll just like ram it in the middle, and we would get Shadow and not creative, and we'd do like 2-on-2s, and I'm like, I love this so much, mostly because like, I feel like I would win a lot of them. But
Yeah, you were way better than us. You had a selection of hyper carries that you would just flip through, and I was always
like,
playing a Moo Moo or something like that could not stop Jax. Like I would die.
yeah. So besides me just like stomping you guys a lot, like I had so much fun playing games, mostly because like somebody would jump in and we would all start screaming because we wouldn't like separate the voice chat through teams. At least usually we didn't. So it'd be like, Nave, go in, and instantly like you would jump in, and then like your Shadow, ah! And then I'm like, yeah, get him, just lighting them
Like
up.
you're just psychologically fucking with each other.
Yeah, and so I would recommend play this game with some friends, like a big group of friends. Do not play this game by yourself.
Friends you care about, not just
Yeah.
friends you barely know, because you're gonna get fucking angry at each other and you're not gonna want to talk to them anymore.
Yeah. So that is my recommendation for League of Legumes.
League
So
of Legends.
Nave, you remember last week when we talked about the mailer feedback?
Nah, I don't even remember what we were talking about 5 minutes ago.
Nave. Okay, so last week we agreed that we would cancel the podcast if we didn't get mailer feedback.
Oh, I actually do remember that.
And I'm sorry, the podcast is being canceled.
Yeah, this is the last episode.
Or it would be if we didn't receive an email from Jacob C. I'm not going to use his last name because I don't know how he feels about that.
I'm glad you didn't force me to bleep his last name.
Yeah. So Jacob threatened that if we canceled the podcast, he would syskey our systems.
I don't even know what that means.
You were the one that brought it up on our last episode.
That was a joke. I'm sorry. I
Oh my
thought this was comedy.
No,
We're playing comedy game here.
this is real life. It's not all a joke, Nave. Grow up. Anyways, Victor, we have a email. I'm talking to you now, not Nave. And he encourages to keep the tangents going and let the conversation ride. So it makes it fun. And I think we've done it this episode, don't you think?
I think we've accomplished that.
I just want to say that you fucking posted in our Google Doc a screenshot just of your phone, and it takes up an entire page basically of the Google Doc where you could. Is this
Look.
fucking big fucking screenshot of his phone?
I'm a busy guy. I don't have time to copy the text. And I want to make sure I got the name.
Oh, okay.
So, Jacob, we will keep it up. Please, we're not going to cancel us. Don't hack us.
I guess.
Yeah, please don't DDoS my sister.
No DDoS.
So, listeners at home, if you want your comment read on the air or response, please email us again at gamingtogetherpod@gmail.com. So,
Our Twitter is something. Our Facebook is something.
yeah, the same old stuff. It's in the description down below. I'm pointing down below right now.
He's not.
And if we don't get replies, no, I'm not going to thread this time. I don't want to get hacked. Okay. So for our next podcast, we are going to be playing Destiny 2. Victor, you play Destiny?
I have played it before, but I have not. I don't play it consistently. No,
Oh, you ought to get. Oh, do you have an Xbox? Xbone?
I do not have an Xbox. I only have.
Well,
a good
don't worry.
old-
It's cross-platform. Do you have a PC?
I do have a PC. Luckily.
Awesome. Okay, so go out and either buy Game Pass, which will let you play it on your PC, or
Will it? Is it on
It
PC
will.
Game Pass?
it's on PC Game Pass.
I don't know why I looked at my Xbox. Like it would tell me. Xbox, tell me. Is it on PC Game Pass, please?
I think it's called Cortana, not Xbox.
Yeah. How
Oh,
disrespectful.
the other thing, you probably can play it since your computer crashed on Discord earlier.
We didn't have to disclose that, but that's fine.
Yeah, that was very sad. So never mind. I'm sorry.
She's trying her best, and by she, I mean my computer.
That's how bad your computer can be. Like his computer can't even run 3 webcams at the same time, but it runs League of Legends. Come on, guys.
Yeah, come
Yeah,
on.
honestly, there's no
Get on
excuse.
League of Legends. so I can beat you up mercilessly and then call you a noob and then delete the game. Good.
and then report you for being toxic.
Yeah. Or better yet, have you on my team. That way
Yeah,
I can trash talk you while you're on my
exactly.
team.
I'll just
All right.
follow you around and not do anything.
Or better yet,
Hold
have
it.
you in my Discord so I can talk trash live.
All right, Victor, is there anything you want to say to our audience? Give you a chance to say whatever you want on the air.
On the
This is
air,
the
no
only
edit.
moment when you can say
This is live.
This is a lot.
uncensored.
Uh,
Do whatever you want.
no, I mean it's been really fun, honestly. We definitely went on a lot of tangents, but it was a really good time and just kind of got caught with time, honestly, because I didn't realize how long we've been recording and it's been a while, but it's been
Yeah.
really fun. I think you guys are doing awesome. So, because I listened to a few of the podcasts before we did this, it was actually really captivating. So, it was really cool. So, you guys keep
All right.
up the good work.
Thanks, man. We were so glad to have you. Thanks for flying all the way down here to our Gaming Together studio.
For sure.
We are not going to be able to pay for your ticket back, so good luck.
Hopefully we'll be able to get together for like Dead Space. Dead Space is the main one. But Borderlands also. I think I have a friend for Borderlands 3, but we can do a retrospective on Borderlands 2, easy peasy. Like I'm sure you remember. I'm sure you have dreams about Mad Moxie, right? Do you
Oh,
have
for
those Mad
sure.
Moxie dreams where she
Oh, for sure.
visits you?
Oh, speaking of dreams. So, when you guys were playing League a lot.
You're not going to talk about Minecraft, are you?
No. So, how often do you guys dream about League of Legends? Or you like close your eyes and see the lane with the minions?
So,
'Cause-
it's funny you say that. So, when I first started playing and I was like really addicted to it, I would, whenever, this is no joke actually, like whenever I was like, I wait to lay down to go to sleep, I could swear I could hear the little
Yeah.
pinging sounds.
That's
Like
it.
people
Like,
pinging. And I'm like, what was that?
invaders in bot lane.
I
It's
wouldn't
like,
have. I don't think I had dreams, but I would wake up thinking that I was like, man, did we win that game? And I'm like, what am I thinking about?
Yeah. All right. Well, this has been a good time, gaming partners. This has been Gaming Together, a Cooperative podcast. Thanks for joining us. Maybe we can play some more games next time. See ya.
Adios.
bye.
Viva la France. Viva la France. Do the clap. I'm ready. You have to count it down, though.
Oh,
Wait, what if Victor counted it down? Victor, count us down.
From when? Like what number?
Whatever number you want, man.
All right, 15. I'm just kidding. 3.
you need to clap too.
I need to clap.
Yeah, otherwise it
clap
doesn't work.
On
Yeah.
1 or 0. 1 second. Hold on.
Yeah, no rush. You good? Now we're just gonna stare at his webcam and see what's going on. Domestic abuse? No! Oh my god!
Put the gun down. Put the gun down, Victor. I almost said Philip.
All right, I'm back.
It's just me and you, listener. Now everyone else is on a pee break.
Do you remember?
Oh, no.
Do you remember?
Name's
at the
here
end-
the whole time. No.